Hi, welcome to another edition of From the Ground Up. I'm Karol Weyman, your host today from Outdoor Coffee Shop, and I am joined today by Peter Daich. Peter, welcome. Before we get started, Daich Coatings is one of our first sponsors for Outdoor Coffee Shop, and the company has a wide variety of product designs and enhancements for outdoor surfaces. Why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Peter Daich. Thank you for having me. And what we are is a coatings company, and our whole reason for being is to provide easy solutions for decorating and renewing your existing concrete surfaces, whether you are a DIYer or a contractor. And we just, we live and breathe the whole idea of just renewing surfaces and making them look great. And, generally at a much lower cost. And we know our customers are thrilled by that. And we know contractors love working with the items. And it's a pleasure to be here. So thank you for having me.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the history? So you've been in business a long time.
We have. In the early 90s, we got started. Really, it was my father who got going with it. He had a background in the chemical industry for years. And he just had a project that he needed to do around the house. And he's always been a bit of a, very inventive guy. And he came up with some things of his own that he created to put on some foundation walls, retaining walls, and also on a patio. So we, he really did the work, and, I watched him do it, and I was wowed by how great it ended up looking. And I was even more wowed over the following year by how durable it was and how well it held up. And, and I thought, this is a really, really great thing that I think a lot of people could benefit from. So it just ballooned from there. He wasn't in the coatings industry, but he created some very nice ones. And we just took it from there. We ended up, providing it to a lot of contractors who like doing it. They added it into their business. And over time, we ended up being distributed by a lot of retail stores to today, where we're sold through a lot of big retailers throughout North America. And our whole, methodology is that we want things that are easy for anyone to be able to do, whether you're a DIYer or a contractor.
Well, we're really excited to have you. When we look at the market segments that the Outdoor Coffee Shop focuses on, you are in many of the segments, such as, tile and hardscape. You have some maintenance, outdoor living, which includes like patios and concrete, outdoor kitchens, and even our pool and spa, which is, both commercial and residential settings. So I think that's really wonderful. So right now, what is your main focus for your business?
Our main focus is really two-pronged. Really, we're big believers in the fact that, again, you may have a patio or a front porch and steps or pool deck or all kinds of concrete around your home, or even indoors, that are not really in the greatest shape. But they may not be something that you actually have to tear apart and completely renew from the studs, so to speak. So our whole idea here is that, with the use of stone, which is a very enduring material, it lasts. And our products have been meant to last and are shown to last over a period of 30 years. You can just completely renew the existing surface that you have and get something that's beautiful for really a fraction of the cost of going in and completely ripping it out. It's something you can do generally in a weekend or even a couple of days. You can do it, and you won't have the mess. You won't have the time. You won't have to wait. Now, I understand that, there are plenty of times when you're going to want to do something completely different and rip everything out, and that's fine. But, if it doesn't fit your budget right now, or you just want something where you're using the existing durable foundation, this is something that you can do all day long. And the other idea here is that, you may have different looks that you may want. So you may want something that looks like a speckled stone, like granite, or you may want something that looks like fieldstone or like slate tile. Well, we're pleased to say that our product line, depending on what look you want to achieve, is going to do all of those things. But the beauty of it is that other than basically pressure washing the existing concrete, and maybe doing some repairs, small repairs to cracks or some pitting or anything in the surface so that you don't really have anything that transmits through. You can take that surface and turn it into an absolute showpiece yourself, or if you're a contractor, you can offer this as part of your business. Not everyone wants to do the work. So it's fantastic for DIYers who just want to completely change their surroundings, or if you're a contractor, we will work with you, we will support you, and we will help you bring this to your customers.
So how does this work? So if you're trying to repair concrete, for example, what products would you do and how would that work?
Well, depending on the degree of repair that's required, you may need to use something like a cement repair material, actually cement-based material. Like if you have large cracks, large holes, you may definitely need to do that. So you'll have to go to your local hardware store and, get some of that, mix it up and put it on. That may be required. Or if you're a contractor, same deal. But if it's more cosmetic or more minor, if you've got some pitting in the surface that you want to fill before you apply any of our stone coating systems over top, you could use our product called Rock Patch. Rock Patch is a stone coating that will lock into the existing concrete. And if you've got a lot of pitting in your surface, let's say you've got a garage floor, and over years, where you happen to live, there's a lot of salt that they put on the road to get rid of ice. Well, you could have over the course of years a lot of salt and water and everything going on that floor, just attacking it. And after a number of years, it's very pitted. So you can use Rock Patch over that to fill that. You can use it to fill cracks. Nothing will then transmit through when you apply the stone coating over top. And at that point, it really becomes all about, you've got your surface that's prepared, you've got a good, durable, even surface, and now it just comes down to what kind of stone do you like. You don't want your surface just to look like concrete that's been repaired and looks patchy. You want something that looks new. You want a garage that looks like you literally laid stone tile in there. Maybe the epoxy thing isn't for you. You don't just want a gray floor. You want something with a little more style. That's what these products will do. And by the way, we do sell epoxy systems as well. So, so we really have you covered in every single direction.
So what is because you had mentioned before when we were talking about the Elastolock waterproof crack filler. How does that work?
The Elastolock is really the same idea. It's just that if you don't want any moisture ever going down through, our stone coatings will basically stop anything from getting through anyway. But maybe you have surfaces where you have, possible moisture underneath. You want to just lock it out, make it drier. We have rollable rubber coatings that can go on top of a surface, and that can either act as a water moisture, liquid and vapor stopper, but it will also act as a bond enhancer. So let's say that you have a very, very smooth, slick surface. For instance, shockingly, outdoors, sometimes people have surfaces that are extremely slippery. Well, if you put the Elastolock down first, it will lock onto that super slippery surface, and then whatever you put on top is going to lock onto there. So it really acts as a sandwich. So depending on what it is you're trying to achieve, we generally have an item that you can use as part of your process to get it to where it needs to be, so that what you put down at the end for your decorative is going to stay there for a bunch of years.
That's great. So how do you prepare the site to be able to put, any of the product on that?
Generally, the magic word is pressure wash. So if you pressure wash that surface, you've really done most of what you're going to need to do. So number one, if your surface happens to be super, super smooth, maybe it's, power troweled concrete and it's very, very smooth, like you'll see sometimes in a new garage floor or on some concrete porches, you can etch it. We have etchers. You can also use muriatic acid, which, if you've heard about and have used before, you can freely do that as well. But you would etch the surface to get some profile. clean out those pores a little bit, and then give it a good pressure wash. Get everything nice and clean, blast away the dirt. And then anything of ours that you put onto that surface is going to lock in. It's going to anchor, and then you've got really the best likelihood of this thing lasting for a good number of years. So once you've got it clean and dry and you've got adequate profile, and most concrete, by the way, you don't need to etch. Usually as long as it's, flat and in good shape, you're good. But basically, once it's clean, just apply our products. They bond extremely tenaciously. Okay. And, the idea is that they're there to they're meant to last for a lot of years. And, it's already in the chemistry, but you need to do your part. You need to make sure that the surface is good and clean. Another thing I should say is if you have something like broom finished concrete, that really is not a friend to heavily filled, stone coating systems, because what can happen is if this is your concrete, every one of these little grooves in between my knuckles here on my hand, that's the groove in your concrete. And if you go and you apply a thick material over top of that, it may not actually go right down into the groove and lock into the existing surface. So in that case, you may want to use our rock patch, and you will put that on in the same direction as the broom finish. Or you could, lightly grind it if you like. If you're a contractor and you're used to grinding, you can definitely do that too. But you don't want it to be super groovy or pitted. You want contact of the coatings into the surface. If you've done that, it's going to stay there for a long time. Your customers are going to be thrilled.
Great. So do you have a primer that works within your line?
We do. We have a few primers, but one of the main ones is a textured primer that we have. You would apply that onto the surface. It'll lock into your existing surface, into your concrete, and the texture is there, and it creates a little bit of profile that the other coatings that go on are going to grab onto. So basically, it's a quick process, whether you're using, our roller rock product or spread rock or our spread stone decorative concrete resurfacing kit. You're going to have a surface that has some profile. You put those coatings over top. They'll lock into the primer. And then at the end, you're going to seal it. And you've got a beautiful, very durable sandwich that'll stand up to everything. It'll stand up to weather and you name it. So the primer is definitely that first step, that first anchor that's going to have you lock onto that surface.
Okay, so you've given us products to repair and prep the surfaces. I understand there are some all-inclusive kits that make life easier. That if you buy a kind of one stop and you buy these kits, can you tell us a little bit more about those?
Yep. Basically, our Spreadstone decorative concrete resurfacing kit is a completely odorless, water-based, very, very durable, very, very tough, high bonding material that you can use to create the look of slate tile, fieldstone, flagstone, you name it, high-end ceramic. Very, very easy to do. And the beautiful thing is you're doing all of it with a roller. So you're going to go in there, you're going to pressure wash that surface, you're going to get it nice and clean, let it dry for an hour, and then you can apply all of our products. Now, everything is breathable, which means that once that surface is visibly dry, you can go ahead and you can start the process. And the other thing is that since everything in that kit is water-based, on a nice day, you're just going to plow through those steps. You're going to put on the primer, which is the first product that goes on. It locks in. 30 minutes later, you're ready to proceed with the rest of your product. Then you're applying a base coat, a stone base coat that locks down onto that primer. And it's a nice, thick, heavily filled, durable stone coating that's applied over the surface. And then there are some accent colors that you would apply as well. The kit has all the rollers in it, and you would just apply the accent colors, and all of a sudden you've got a surface that will look exactly like stone or slate or fieldstone, whatever feeling you want. And the kits come in different colors. So if you want, say, a darker gray, something that looks like a slate, we have colors for that. If you want something that's lighter and looks more like, stone that you took out of a field that you love the look of. You put that on, boom, you've got it. And the beauty of it is you did that right over top of the existing concrete that is sitting there. So it didn't cost you a whole ton of money. You didn't have to rip anything out. And if you're a contractor and you come in and you do that, what are you really doing? You're pressure washing. You're applying the coatings, which dry usually in half an hour to an hour, all of the steps. And at the end, when it looks the way you like it, you leave it. The only thing you need to do is you come back tomorrow and you seal it once everything is cured. That material is going to stand up to shoveling, salt, car tires. It'll stand up to extreme UV, so you can use it in the southern U.S. You can use it in Alaska, and it's proven to work very, very well in all of those places. So it's great for you if you are a contractor and you want to roll up your sleeves and have a really easy, very paint-like process that's going to last. It's a great option for you too. So regardless of where you are on the spectrum of, getting things done, it's going to be a beautiful fit.
You make it sound easy, like as a DIYer, like being able to kind of handle that yourself. Like the weather is starting to break in a lot of the northern places of the world, and so it's really nice to be able to think, oh, I might be able to do this. Just take some time, read about it, understand it. You had mentioned color, and color is such a big deal now. Everyone wants custom look, or they want something to match their furniture, or they want it to match their siding, or they want it to match. How many colors do you offer?
We have lots of colors. So, and we know that. And we know that it's very much, it's not just about fixing and repairing and getting a better look. It's really about going with, the brick or the siding of your home, the furniture that's outside. There's a certain thing that you want to achieve. So we've got a bunch of different colors. And in terms of the ease of use aspect, yes, I mean, being easy to use and easily getting those very professional results is exactly what is going to make, it's really going to be a game changer for you. And that's why, Home Depot and Lowe's are selling these products because, maybe you just want to completely transform something and that you've got a surface that's completely fine. It's going to work just great, but it's just looking a little worn. It's chipped. It's maybe been fixed. It's been patched. Patches never match. This way you've got a completely uniform finish that's going to last. And it also may be very slip resistant as well. Most of our products are. And we also have sealers that can be applied that are slip resistant sealers. So, we're all very much about safety too. So you've got the look, you've got the color, you've got the texture, and you've got the slip resistance, which is super important with family, friends, customers, if you're doing it at your business. So we think that we really have, all of the bases covered here.
How do you maintain, once everything's done, it looks beautiful and you want it to last, how do you maintain that surface, and what do you recommend for people?
There's really nothing to do. I mean, basically once it's done, every few years, you can reapply the sealer. Chances are very good that you're not going to do any damage to the actual stone coating that's down there, but maybe you want to freshen it up, or maybe you have an existing surface that you just want to ensure that it's as anti-slip as possible. Well, we have an anti-slip sealer you could apply. It'll completely refresh the look of the surface. It'll pop the colors. And that's just a quick, 2 coats on a Sunday afternoon, and you're done, and you're good to go for another, good number of years. So it's very, very well meant to be low maintenance, easy, shockingly good results once it's done, and a very economical path as well, because compared to everything else, can't beat it.
So for some of the folks that want to go with like an a la carte and order different products by the gallon, what, like, for like an exterior facelift, how does that work, and what do you recommend?
Well, we make it very easy. So if you're buying through Home Depot and Lowe's, there's generally information there that will explain what you will need for your project. So all you really need to do is follow the chart that says, okay, you've got this many square feet, you need some of this, you need some of this, and you need some of this, and here's the tool that you need. However, if you don't want to do that, you can also just go directly to daichcoatings.com. And we have a team there that will answer your call. We will look at what you need to do, what your goal is. We will help you pick the thing that will be easiest for your level of desire and, something that will also fit your decorative vision. We will set you up with exactly what you need based on your square footage. We'll ask you questions about, what condition is the surface in now? Is it pitted? Is it this? Is it that? We will look at all those details for you and with you. And then it's very, very easy from there. And then we'll literally take care of you. We're always here to answer your questions, even during your project. Pick up the phone. We've got a 1-800 number. You can also email us. We're there for you. And we're there for you now, and we're there for you after the project. So if there's anything you want to know later, or let's say in a couple of years, you say, you know what, I just had the siding change on my house and I want a new color patio. Fine. So, give us a call. We'll set you up with something brand new. All of the coating systems are meant to work directly over what was there before. So again, it's a simple and easy fix, a complete transformation, a complete new color, and you can do it again, once again in a weekend. So it's meant to be simple and easy. We take all the guesswork out of it for you, and that's exactly what we're there to do.
I love that you're sold in stores, but I also love that you're available through your customer service. I think that really speaks volumes, because then that means you're really dedicated. That means that you're really digging in and making sure you're solving problems for people, not just kind of putting it out there and kind of letting, the Home Depots, although they do a great job of selling.
They do a great job. Yeah. I mean, they're fantastic partners, but I will also tell you, yes. If you are a contractor, where our staff can really be helpful is, we will help you get everything in an a la carte basis. Because if you're a contractor and there are certain colors that you install all the time, there are going to be certain finishes that that most of your customers, for whatever reason, those are the ones that they want. So you're not going to be buying little gallons and quarts. You're going to be getting like the 3-gallon pails, and you're going to keep that, at your shop. And whenever that job calls for it, the beauty of our products is that, unlike cement, where you're mixing with water and it hardens up and it's basically garbage at the end of the day, anything that you don't use, this can stay in the can for literally years. Okay. So now, not after you've actually opened the can, you're talking, 6 months to a year. But that's plenty of time if you're deciding that you want a 3-gallon pail of this and a 3-gallon pail of that, and you only use 1.5 gallons, you're still going to use it on the other job. There's no waste. You can talk to us about what the project is that you're trying to do for your customers. We'll set you up with what you need. We'll use our insight to ensure that you don't waste any money doing something that, maybe isn't going to get you quite the result that you're looking for. And the other thing is, we can even set you up with things like fan decks and other materials that you can bring and you can show to your customers to complete, the process and keep building your business. So we're absolutely 100% there for you too. So our staff in the office are especially helpful and valuable to you as that kind of resource.
I love how scalable this product is, and all the things that you offer, whether it's a do-it-yourself or if it's large contractors looking to be able to really maximize, being able to provide for their customers as well. So I think that's so great. And I know that you mentioned that, people can find you at daichcoatings.com. They can find you in many stores, like right there, right above. And we also have a directory for you on outdoorcoffeeshop.com. And we can definitely, there's lots of links on there to be able to get you in touch with what you need, who you need and what you need to see. But I just thank you. Is there anything else you want to add to anything that we've talked about? This was really informative, especially for our guests.
I think the only thing I would just say is, if you're at all unsure of where you want to get to in your project, but you want to do something, or if you're a contractor and that you want to add something that is easy, non-toxic, odorless, not mixed on site and then is garbage at the end of the day. If you want to save money if you want to grow your business in another direction, regardless of who you are, feel free to give us a call. We're here. We will help you before, during, and after your project. You will find that we're a great team to work with, and we would be honored to work with you, whether you are using it at your home in one project, and we think probably one of many. If you are as thrilled as we expect you might be, or if you're a contractor, we're here to help you. Use us as your resource for solving those problems and building your business.
Yeah, well, this is wonderful, Peter. Thank you so much for joining us today. I think this is going to end our time together. I want to thank everybody for joining us today on From the Ground Up, and we'll see you next time.